Good morning. It's Monday morning. Monday after the North Alabama game. I don't know, will that make this November 20th? Something like that. So, a lot to talk about. I didn't think there'd be much to talk about after the North Alabama game. But Florida State came out very flat, very unprepared. And they were put in a situation where their star quarterback felt like he had to do something he hadn't done in probably a month. He was forced to tuck that ball and run around and make a play and extend the game with his legs. And he got injured. He broke his leg. It looked like he broke the tibia, the fibula, something like that. And the way it got rolled over, there was probably some ankle damage as well. Just like a really horrific and gruesome injury to watch. I was watching from my couch. I actually watched the whole game. And I was in my environment. I had my best friend over. Me and my wife were sitting on the couch. He was sitting on the bench over in the corner. We were just hanging out, watching the game, eating some pizza and bull crapping. And we were kind of making jokes about how bad Florida State looked. And it was like, are they going to lose to North Alabama? Because the game was never really in question. I never panicked. I was just laughing when we were down 13-0 because it was just what can you do? Because you knew they'd eventually turn it on and win by 50. So you're just whatever. I'm just going to watch the game and wait for them to turn it on. And then Jordan gets hurt. And it was the most ridiculous. My house was quiet. The stadium was quiet. I couldn't believe it. My best friend couldn't believe it. My wife couldn't believe it. We're all just looking around are you kidding me? Nightmare scenario to the fullest. You're losing to this team at home. It's on senior night. You're honoring the 2013 team. Jameis is getting his number retired, or his jersey retired. Florida State doesn't retire numbers. They just retire jerseys. And now your star guy is hurt. The guy that has brought this team out from the depths of sorrow and nothing. This Florida State team was hard to watch. I'm a die-hard Florida State fan and have been my entire life. I was born in '89. And I grew up with my family just loving and adoring Bobby Bowden. And I remember my uncle was the first one in the family to get tattoo, and he got a Florida State tattoo. And I got to meet Bobby Bowden when I was in my early 20s, and I had dinner with Bobby Bowden, and I got to get an autograph from him. And I just have so many fond memories of my childhood involving Florida State football. When the game wasn't on TV, we would go listen to it on the radio. We caught every game that we could possibly ingest. So, this team is everything to me. And I'm going to be honest, I've skipped some games when we were terrible. I would watch the first quarter, and when I would see it was terrible and hard to watch, I just turned it off. I'm a huge Jordan Travis fan. I wish I could prove this to everybody, but I've been a Jordan Travis believer. When we got Mackenzie Milton, I was mad about it because I just wanted them to give Jordan Travis an opportunity because I liked what I always saw out of this kid. And for him to go down on senior night and to leave in an ambulance and just know that his career at Florida State ended that way, it was completely disappointing and heartbreaking and just sad on so many levels. So now that that's out of the way, I've spoken on that. We should have never been in that situation. The coaching staff, I know with senior night, there's all these festivities. All the kids they're distracted. No one's thinking about going out and playing a game. But when they fake the punt, how do you not see that coming? This team's coming out there doing all these goofy, exotic formations. And you're not expecting them to fake a punt around midfield when it's a 4th and 1. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how we were so ill-prepared. If we weren't so ill-prepared, Travis is probably still walking around and upright and getting ready for Florida. So now that I've spoken my piece on that, I'm not going to harp on that anymore. we have a chance with Tate Rodemaker, and I don't care what anyone says. I've seen enough of Tate Rodemaker He's been here for 4 years. He's confident. He's comfortable. He's got the strong arm, and he knows how to read a defense, and he knows how to run Mike Norvell's offense. I still think all of our original goals are in front of us. Our original goals before the season, to me, were when the ACC make the playoffs. Jordan Travis was playing at such an elite level, I kind of tampered my expectations and moved them to a national championship. Not expecting one, but knowing that one was a very distinct possibility. So I don't know if I'm going to say that we're still going to win the national championship. I don't think that's happening. I do think that we're going to beat the Gators, and I do think that we're going to beat Louisville. I think we're going to be ACC champs, and I think we'll get a playoff appearance. And actually, depending on where we land in the playoffs, it just depends. If we have to play Georgia, we're not beating Georgia. I think Florida State can beat Ohio State. I think Florida State can beat Michigan. And if we had to play Washington, I think we could beat Washington. There's only one team in college football I don't think we could beat, and it's Georgia. I just don't think we could beat Georgia. I don't see it. So, who knows? Maybe we get let's say hypothetically, like we get the 3 seed. If Florida State gets a 3 seed and we got to play a 2 seed Michigan, and if Georgia comes out, let's say Georgia has to play like Oregon or something like that. Or what if Georgia doesn't even make the playoff? Georgia could lose to Alabama. If like Georgia loses to Alabama and Texas wins the Big 12, the committee's going to have some decision to make, because you can't put in Alabama as the SEC champ and then leave out Texas, because Texas beat Alabama head-to-head in Tuscaloosa. I could make a whole nother video just ranting and raving about the playoffs, and I could go on for 15 minutes about all the different scenarios and what about this and who that, who knows. But yeah, Florida State absolutely crushed Northern Alabama the way they were supposed to. It's still a little concerning that they just can't line up and traditionally run the ball. Why can our offensive line not move dudes off the block? It doesn't make sense. They don't have any nasty to them. Our offensive line doesn't have that nasty edge of just blocking angry and bullying dudes. So that's a little concerning, but they do really good in pass protect. So I say you just let Tate go. You let him air the ball out 30 to 35 times. Throw some screen passes. Stretch the field. Air it deep. Go to Keon. Go to Johnny. Go to, just air it out. Go to Ja'Kai. You guys got this. They got the weapons. Jordan getting hurt is devastating. It's truly devastating. And, you don't want to say why could it have been, why not someone else? Because, you don't want to see anyone get hurt. But he's the one guy that his injury affects this team differently than any other injury. I understand it's next man up, and I understand that we do have a talented team to roll out there and keep winning games. It just sucks it had to be him, because he meant so much to this team and this fan base. You could see Trey Benson was crying on the sideline. This dude was beside himself. Mike Norvell in the post-game press conference was choking back tears. This guy that got hurt is the heart and soul of the team. Here, I'm ranting about it again. Anyway, have a good day. Go Noles. We play the Gators on Saturday, so that'll be a fun game. I think it's a night game in the Swamp. I'm 99% sure it's a night game. I don't think it's an afternoon. I'm positive it's nighttime, so that's going to be a serious game. I'm going to think about it throughout the week. And I think the Noles will win. I just don't know what I think deep about it. I've seen enough Gator games. I'll talk a little more about it on probably Friday. So anyway, have a good day. Go Noles.